Hello my brownies, welcome to another video. I hope you've had an amazing week. I had some really low days and I've had some really high days. Today's video is going to be all about healing yourself and how especially how to start your healing journey. Where do you start? How do you get the ball rolling? So this video is for anyone that's watching that's gone through any trauma, or you just want to become a better version of yourself and you don't really know what steps to take. So just a little bit of background for anybody that's new here. My childhood trauma was growing up without my mum from the age of 6 onwards, to be honest. That was the biggest trauma. So that caused a void, and then I used to fill that void with binge eating, and then now as an adult I have a lot of addictive behaviors that are really annoying, and I recently understood why I have those addictive behaviors, and it's because of the childhood. Right, coming back to how do you start healing your journey, healing your traumas, healing your past, so that you can finally live a life that you want to live and you deserve to live. First thing I'll say is start with meditation. Regardless of what religion you are, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, whatever it is, meditation is just such a great way to find inner peace. To be honest, so growing up I used to shout at my dad a lot. Not just shout, I would like scream at the top of my lungs at him, because his way of thinking, his way of doing things were distorted, were not like mine. He has schizophrenia, and so they had superstitions, and so when he would do or say something that didn't make sense to me, I would try and scream at him just to try and make him understand, but it wouldn't work. And in turn, what would happen is I would feel even more horrible for shouting at him, and that would make me feel worse. And then I would apologize, and next time he would do something, I shout at him again, and the cycle just continued. So when I started meditating, it calmed me down so much. I actually stopped shouting at him, which might not seem like a lot talking about it, but it actually was a lot. Not just because I stopped shouting at him, but because it gives you inner peace. It just zens you out. It's like you're high on life, if that makes sense. So you might be asking, where do I start with meditation? Put on a 1-minute timer on your phone. Sit down somewhere comfortable. Ideally your spine needs to be nice and straight, so your body's like an antenna. Tell people in your family, people that are at home, do not disturb me for this 1 minute. Kids or family or pets, just get them out in the other room so that you can just focus on yourself. So for 1 minute, you're just going to sit upright. Head ideally is supported, so you don't want to be kind of down or kind of too up. You just want a nice straight spine. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You want to fill your heart with oxygen, with air. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Just focus on that breathing for just 1 minute. Do that every single day for a week, and then after a week you're going to increase it to 2 minutes every single day for a week, and then you're going to increase it to 3 minutes. To be honest, there's hundreds of ways to meditate. You can listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza on YouTube. There's so many meditations, great meditations that you can find on the internet, and I actually rely on them. But if you want to do meditation the proper way is to do it self-guided, and that takes years. I've been meditating for years, and there's only a handful of times where I've self-meditated properly and you reach nirvana, and it's pretty friggin' cool. So with the meditation, if you start experiencing emotions, if your heart starts racing, your mind starts wandering, you have all these thoughts and it's just a lot of mess, don't panic, don't judge yourself, don't freak out, just bring awareness to what's happening. That's your number one priority in meditation, to bring awareness to what you're experiencing, where you're experiencing it, and to just have self-compassion. It's okay. Just have that awareness, just to have that awareness that actually, a lot of the times when I'm meditating and my mind starts wandering, I'm like, okay, I acknowledge that my mind is wandering. You're just acknowledging what you're going through, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and then that brings you back to being centered. And then my mind starts wandering again, and then I'm like, oh, okay, wait, it's wandering again. Meditation is a discipline. It takes years to master, so don't expect to feel anything different in the first session. You might, but don't expect to feel it, because for a lot of people you're not going to experience anything. On saying that, if you have any mental health problems, or if you have any blood pressure problems, or if you have any health problems, and you're not sure if meditation is right for you or not right for you, I would say with the breathing, just breathe in and out. Don't take deep breaths, maybe don't take fast breaths, just breathe normally and just focus on the breath. And then if you do have mental health problems, so for example dissociation or ADHD or something like that, and you start experiencing those memories that you've suppressed, those traumas, they start coming back to you, don't try to stop them, don't try to put a shield on them, just bring awareness to what you're experiencing. If you need to cry, if your body starts trembling, crying is one of the best parts to get rid of trauma, because trauma physically sits in the cells. So when you cry, it actually comes out, which is exactly what we need to heal. So again, if you start remembering a memory, a terrible trauma that happened to you, or you experienced or you witnessed, just allow your body to process it, and just allow yourself to feel those emotions again. Yes, it's going to be painful and uncomfortable, and you're going to want to snap out of it, and you're not going to want to meditate, all of these things, but you have to stick with it. You have to have lots of self-compassion. So I love myself, I forgive myself, I trust myself, I am so proud of myself. Lots and lots of self-compassion, lots of self-soothing. Allow yourself to cry, tremble, scream, whatever you need to. Breathe, and then just stay there. Just be by yourself. Just allow yourself to process what you've just gone through. You just processed the trauma. It's a big deal. Don't just expect to all of a sudden then go back into society and get back to your stressful day. Give yourself maybe 5-10 minutes to just be there for yourself. Another thing in meditation is, if you do start doing it right, you may start to not feel your body. So for example, sometimes your head feels like it's really far from your body, or you can't feel the rest of your body, or your arms feel like they're really far. Or if you go one step higher, you feel like you're going up and down at the same time, almost like a roller coaster, but you can't feel your body. You can't feel that you're sitting down, which is like the next level. And then I'm pretty sure there's other levels after that as well, but that's the level that I've reached. For anybody that's curious, the highest I've gone in meditation is I can't remember, I think it was a listening meditation that I did, or self-guided, I can't remember. But first it starts feeling like your head is really high from your arms, like it's really, really like away, and then you can't feel your body at all. And that's why in meditation you stay absolutely still, because you don't want to send signals to your brain to move anything, because you want to focus, you want to just kind of just be. Basically meditation is just being present. So yeah, it felt like I was going down. So sometimes you feel like you're going down, sometimes you feel like going up, sometimes you feel like you're going down and up at the same time, which is weird when you say it, but when you experience it again, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if you do start experiencing those, don't freak out. It's completely normal. But if it feels like you're going to start going insane, then obviously come out and just breathe and just take your time. So meditation, if you go into higher levels, it's not for everyone, especially if you've got serious mental health problems. It's not for everyone, but I do recommend it to, if you want peace, like literally, if you want to heal those broken parts of yourself, you gotta meditate. So what is meditation? Meditation is basically connecting to, I'm gonna say, source / God / the energy that we are all a part of. So I'm a Muslim and I believe in God, and obviously there's lots of other religions that believe in God. There are some spiritual people that believe in they don't believe in God, but they believe in what do they believe in? It's like energy or something. What's it called? Source. So what I'm trying to say is, some people believe in God, some people believe in source, some people don't believe in God, but they know there's something out there that created us. So whatever you believe in, I'm not judging you. When you meditate, you connect, you basically charge up your battery. It's like putting your phone on charge. We as human beings, we get drained everyday life, things not going our way, people draining our energy, negativity, toxicity, trauma, it drains us. So when you meditate, you fill up the battery again, and then you are a surplus for the people in your life. You're a surplus for yourself, and when you want to do something, you want to accomplish something, it becomes easy and effortless, because actually you've got all that energy and you're not drained, you're not surviving, you're not in survival mode. The purpose of meditation is to take you out of survival mode into thriving mode. It's a slow, long, painful process in the beginning, but over time it becomes fun, and you know, whatever you want literally just comes to you just like that, which is pretty freaking cool when you think about it. This is what I would describe as miracles. Okay, so that's about the meditation. Next thing I would say is start journaling. So start writing down or doing a brain dump, actually. Forget the journaling, do a brain dump. So get a plain piece of paper. I would actually say get an A4 piece of paper, get a pen, write down what you're experiencing. You can scream on there, you can shout on there, you can write down all the things that are taking up space in your brain. Literally, think of this as like a bin, and all those thoughts are scrunched up pieces of paper, and there's only so much that you can take. And so what we're doing by writing it down is literally writing down every single thing that's taking up space in our brain. So every thought, every frustration, every to-do list, things that you've been wanting to do for ages, things that you can't do, everything that's taking up space. And sometimes what happens is that A4 piece of paper gets filled up and you realize, wow, there is a lot going on. And that is when you need to have self-compassion, because actually as a human being, we do have a lot of responsibilities. And then what you do is you get the next piece of paper and you write down maybe like 3 things that you can get done. You can do it so many different ways. Easiest way is to write down 3 things from that brain dump on what you can get done right now. And then the next thing I would say to do after that is the 4 Ds. Do, delay, delegate, and delete. The do list is the things that you can get done. The delay are the things that are not important that you can delay for later on, that you can postpone. The delegate are the things that you can delegate to your friends, family, co-workers, colleagues, that other people can get done, so that your time and energy is spent on something else. And the last one is delete. The things that are just fluff and they don't really need to be done, they're not priority, you've just had them on there just because, delete them. That's it. There we go, brain dump sorted. I've done this so many few times, especially when I started to get depression. I did a brain dump and I realized I actually had too much on my plate. I was getting overwhelmed, and it was like a light bulb moment. It seemed like such a simple tool, but it actually fixed what I was going through. My problem was I was doing too much and I wasn't getting enough sunlight. I wasn't getting enough kind of me time. And so when I saw it, I was like, actually, this is not that bad. In saying so, with depression, I'm not saying this is what you're going through. You might need help, you might need to go to the doctor, but do a brain dump. So meditation, brain dump. Now we're going to go into journaling. Journaling is all about how you're feeling, your emotions, how you're feeling. Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling annoyed, jealous? Like, what is it that you're feeling? Don't judge it. Just write it down. I am feeling like this. I am feeling like that. Next thing is pity party. Recently, I've had a few of those, and pity party is when you feel sorry for yourself, when you forget your gratitude, when you forget your blessings and you focus on what you don't have, and you focus on what you are not or what you have not yet become, because you're so focused, because you're having a pity party, you're feeling sorry for yourself, and you're comparing yourself to others, or you're comparing yourself to where you want to be, but you're not. Pity parties suck because they waste your day, they drain your energy. And, you know, I would say with a pity party, give it an hour, put a timer on it, give it an hour, because sometimes we need to just kind of, pity party is okay, an hour. After an hour, you need to help yourself. You need to get up, you need to change your physiology. Easiest way to do that is put on your favorite music, put your headphones on and just dance. Because when you change your physiology, it changes your mindset, your thinking, your behavior. And then you are on a roll and you want to do something else that's going to give you that positive dopamine that the dancing gave you. Okay, right, so back to healing. So we've gone through meditation, brain dump, journaling, and then the thing that I just said, oh my God, I've forgotten. Right, okay, the healing. Now we're going to move on to the healing is so important because it helps you reconnect those broken parts. So when you go through, so as a human being, when you're born, if you haven't gone through trauma, imagine you're like a ball. So actually you're like this. Okay, so this is the human body, no trauma, really good childhood, good parents, stability at home, we're looked after, there was food, there was shelter, everything is good. But then, you know, something starts happening, you start getting neglected, there's trauma, there's abuse, parents separate, you get bullied at school, and you're basically fragmented. What you were once like this, you are now like this. So now you have become disconnected from either reality or your body, because your brain is trying to forget what you've gone through, right? So this is what trauma looks like. When you start healing, you start meditating, this closes the gap. And then you start doing self-care, and it closes the gap even more. And then you start, you know, putting yourself first, it closes the gap even more. And you seek help and you seek therapy, it closes the gap. And eventually one day you become what you once were, the perfect being. You always are the perfect being, it's inside of you. But because of all those traumas, this is how you're feeling, this is how you are presenting to the world. This is what is controlling your future. Your past is actually controlling your future, because you are fragmented and you cannot think clearly. Because when you go through trauma, it affects your logical thinking, your critical thinking, your cognitive thinking. It affects everything, even though you may not feel it, even though you think you're in control and you have free will, and you do. But because you've experienced trauma, you actually don't. That trauma is controlling every single part of your day, your thinking, your behaviors, your action, how you treat yourself, how you see yourself, how you see others. I'll give you an example. My brother, he grew up without my dad because of me, because me and my dad came to this country in 1998 to get treatment for this. This was TB. So my brother, I think when we left, he was like 5 or 6 years old. And so in Pakistan, you know, the men have a very responsible role. They do everything outside of the home, you know, providing the food and looking after the family members, and then the females that stay at home look after the home, raise the children. And so my brother overnight had to become a father figure to two of my siblings, plus mom. So he, you know, the trauma that he's gone through, I don't know what he's gone through, but I know he's gone through a lot of trauma. So the trauma that I've gone through growing up without my mom, he's had it much worse, because he also had to become a father figure. And so now his way of thinking, his judgment is completely impaired. And me looking at him from somebody that's also gone through trauma, I can understand why he is the way he is, and it's because of his trauma. But he wouldn't understand that, because in his mind he's right. A child from the age of 0 to 7, their brain is like a sponge. They are absorbing everything, and whatever they're absorbing, they are molding into. And so when it experiences trauma and it has to become a father figure, and you know, it has to look after the mother and two sisters, and starts repairing the house, and gets bullied at school, and gets put in the sun because he didn't want to shave his head, it molds him into a different kind of person. It changes his thinking. He goes into survival mode. And that is why today his way of thinking is like that. And this is why I'm coming back to the traumas that we've gone through. This is what it causes. And so when you meditate, self-heal, therapy, inner work, self-care, all those tools, it brings you back together, and you feel whole again. Whole and at peace and zen, and like whatever happens, you're like, you know what, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm sure there is a good reason why this is happening. Because the victim mindset is like, why is this happening to me? What have I, like, you know, I haven't done anything wrong, but still, like, bad things are happening to me. Why is it happening to me? But then when you meditate and heal, and it's like, you know what, all the crap that I went through, actually, it was there to teach me a lesson. And you take those lessons, you're like, and those lessons, the trauma makes you so much stronger. So the trauma of me growing up without my mom has made me resilient, and so many other things made me so much stronger, and it's got me that driving factor, that push. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say next. And this is what happens. So I'm going to come on to when you're at work and you need to, even when you're not at work, you need to be in tune with your body and what you're experiencing and what it needs and when it needs it. So for example, if you're at work and you're feeling really tired because you haven't had enough sleep or you haven't had enough food, but you keep pushing it, you keep ignoring it, and you keep doing what you need to do at work, you're actually ignoring what your body needs. If you keep doing that over the years, what's going to happen? Let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Your body is going to make that trauma in some sort of physical appearance, and you're going to get some sort of physical ailment. It could be pain, it could be something serious. Your body is trying to get your attention, but you're not listening to it. You keep brushing under the carpet. You just keep, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need help. I'm fine. Coffee. I'm fine. So when your body gives you those symptoms, those pains, aches, this is something that was taught by a mentor. The feather, the brick, and the bus. The feather is something, a light nudge. You get a light nudge. You get a light sneeze or a cough or a light ailment. You either fix it or you keep brushing it under the carpet. Then it's going to be the brick. It's going to be something a little bit more bigger. It's going to give you more impact. It's going to do more damage. Again, you can either choose to look at it and fix it, or you keep brushing it under the carpet. And then the bus, and you get hit by a bus, as in like something so terrible happens that it's life-changing, and you're like, what happened? Like, why did I not know this was happening? And actually, you know what? You did know, because you had the feather and the brick, and you didn't listen, and now it's the bus. This is the teaching of Cynthia Stant, I believe. If it's not, then I apologize, and I mean no copyright or whatever. Yeah. So you have to be aware. Just be aware of what you are feeling, what you're going through, and have unlimited self-compassion. Oh my God, self-compassion is going to be your best friend. You have to forgive yourself for the past. You have to let go of that guilt and the shame, whatever it is. Because as a victim, I had a lot of shame and guilt. But then you have to just acknowledge it and just be like, you know what? Actually, I forgive myself, but it wasn't my fault. Like, my guilt and shame was that I came to the country, and for that reason, my siblings didn't have their dad to grow up with. And I had guilt and shame that mum couldn't be with her husband, my dad, because of me. So that I had that guilt and shame for many, many, many years. And so eventually I was like, you know what? I was 6 years old. It wasn't my decision to come here. Like, I have to forgive myself. I have to move on. I have to let go of that thing that's holding me back. I have to just let it go. You have to drop the baggage. You have to we have so much baggage. If we were to be able to see the baggage and the emotional trauma that people are carrying, I think you wouldn't be able to see their body, because there's just so much trauma. And so when I see homeless people or drunk people or people that are addicts or people that have mental health problems, I see their trauma. I don't see them. I see they're still living in the past. They haven't been able to process that trauma, because either the trauma was too painful, or they don't know how to process it, or they're not ready to process it, or they don't want to process it. There's always a reason. So coming back to healing, how to heal yourself. If you need to get help, get therapy. Speak to someone, speak to a friend. And then I would also say, dress up, do your self-care. So recently I went and got a facial done. Was it yesterday or the day before? And then today I went and got my hair done. I wore a really nice pretty dress, and even to go to the coffee shop, you just feel good and you look good, and that makes you, when you look good, you feel good, and that changes everything. Whereas when you look like a tramp, when you look like disheveled and not put together, you don't feel that great. But then why is it when you dress well, you feel well? Why? Because it's that psychology. You look good in the mirror, you feel good. You look bad in the mirror, you don't really feel good. Try it. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. One last thing I would say is have a revival box. So when you're feeling down, when you need a pick-me-up, when you need some self-soothing, get a box ready. It can have like, this little one is listening to me. You can have a face mask in there. You can have headphones in there. You can have a QR code to your favorite music. So you put in your headphones and you scan that QR code and it takes you straight to the music and you start dancing. Changing your physiology is like the best way to get you out of that poor me mindset, basically. Or when you're at home and you're depressed and you don't feel like doing anything, you've got a bit of a pity party, feeling sorry for yourself, not really where you want to be, and so the whole day is wasted. I've had a few of those recently. So open that box up, scan that QR code, and the music will take over. You will start dancing. If you don't want to listen to music, that's totally fine. You know, you can have some art supplies in there, play around with different things, have some fun things in there. That's another thing I want to add. To heal trauma, you need to be doing fun things and being creative, because when we are experiencing trauma, the fun and creative go out the window because we're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, there is no fun and creative. You have to survive to run away from the tiger that's going to eat you up, right? So by being fun and creative, you're telling your CNS, you're telling your body and your brain, hey, we're safe, we can now actually relax and have fun and be creative. And that helps with the healing so much. So that could mean, you know, when you see a fountain and you want to jump around with it, in it, go and jump around in it. Obviously, if it's legal. If it's illegal, don't do it. But if you want to climb up a tree and it's safe and it's not too high, climb up a tree. If you want to, you know, just do those fun and creative things that you want to do. If you want to go to like a fancy shop and try on different dresses, like go do that. Fun, creative, step outside of your comfort zone. I'll share with you a fun and creative and outside of my comfort zone thing that I did. Is I went to Harrods all by myself like 2 months ago. Wearing this dress, I did my hair, did my makeup. I wanted to go and have tea by myself. So I went upstairs, it's on the top floor, and I was so uncomfortable. I felt so out of place. So there's one tea room and then there's one like Musa cafe or something. And then that one was I was a bit more comfortable there, but I did not want to go in the tea room. I just felt so like it was outside of my comfort zone. So anyway, I went to the Musa cafe and then I was just looking around and everybody obviously had somebody to talk to and I was by myself and I was just like, I did not want to go there. And I was like, listen, I've gone all this way. It took like an hour from home to get there. Let me at least sit down and just drink something. So I sat down and I ordered like a cappuccino, a chocolate dessert and like a lobster roll or something. And I was a little bit uncomfortable, but I was so happy that I did that because it took me outside of my comfort zone. It was fun and it was creative and I took some pictures and I'm going to do it again. So yeah, that was really fun. It was scary. It was fun. And then on the way back, I got cake from my husband from the food store downstairs. And yeah, you want to heal, you got to be fun, you got to be creative, you got to meditate, you got to brain dump, what was the other thing, dance. There's a lot of things that goes into healing, but it's so worth it because then the rest of your life you can do whatever you want, you can have whatever you want whenever you want it. Like it just comes to you easy and effortless. And when you have easy and effortless, like that's it. And there's also a worthiness, like especially if you want a booming business. If you don't feel worthy of clients and money because of the trauma, you're not going to get it. And this is something like I've heard a billionaire say, a lot of people don't have the worthiness. They don't feel worthy of having the good things or the things that they want in life because they feel like they're not worthy of it. So that's another thing, is work on your worthiness. Is like, just because you've experienced those traumas, you know, you shouldn't, that shouldn't, you know, abundance is your birthright. You were born abundant. Look at how many leaves and grasses and flowers and nature. Look how abundant that is. Who is that for? It's for you. It's your birthright. But because you've gone through the traumas, you feel like it's not for you. It's for somebody else. It's not for you. But let me tell you this, it is for you. And it's there for you whenever you want it, but you have to do it. You have to help yourself, and then God will help you. Isn't that such a beautiful message? Yeah, and it says it in the Quran as well. I can't remember the exact verse, but it goes something like, God will help those who want to help themselves. It goes along the lines, and I think there's something in the Bible that says that as well. And there's something that spiritual people believe as well. You have to go first, and the universe responds. You have to help yourself. There's a lot of people, especially in the Muslim community, that are waiting for a miracle. especially a lot of people in Pakistan that are extremely poor, they are just, you know, the people that do the charity campaigns, the people up here and there, they are so desperate, and that's fine, the situation is horrible, but they're just waiting for a miracle. And unfortunately, until they change themselves or change their mindset or something, a miracle is not going to happen. It just doesn't work like that, because it says it in the Quran. It's a law, and I've gone through it. Until I changed my mindset, my life did not change. Like, I used to live in a men's hostel. My neighbor was racist. Like, I was suicidal, had depression, working in Primark. It was bad. It was really, really, really bad. There was no gratitude. There was no self-help. I didn't know how to self-help. So until your mindset changes, and this is another thing, you have to know that you can get better, and that you are worthy, and you will feel better, but you have to put in the work. It's not just going to happen overnight. It can take years, but it's so worth it. Like, even if you progress 0.01% every, it was that 1% every day, every other day, it's amazing, because in a year you have loads and loads of progress. And look at this little baby, and this is my little baby. We had 2 of them. The other one was called Lola. When Lola passed away, it really affected my judgment, my thinking. And I made some decisions, or a couple of decisions, that I now regret, because I was so fogged by that trauma. That's another thing. When you are fogged by the trauma, you're very emotional. Your thinking is not logical. So try not to make decisions, or like, you know, life-changing decisions when you're that emotional. Just wait until you've calmed down so you can think logically, and then make those decisions as well. Anyway, that's the end of this video. It's been 30 minutes that I've been chatting. If somebody has watched this, thank you so much. Like, thank you so much for staying here and listening to me for 30 minutes. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch some more videos on trauma, there is a doctor called Dr. Gabor Mate. Gabor Mate can be found on YouTube. He's got some really wonderful teachings, and I really like the way how he describes things and how he answers questions around trauma and childhood, and it makes a lot of sense. Last thing I want to say is, if you have any addiction at the moment as an adult, it's probably because of the traumas that you've experienced in the past. And so just look into that, and just have self-compassion, and, you know, tell yourself that you're gonna do it for you, because you're worth it and you're worthy of it, and you can have an awesome, happy, abundant, amazing life, doing what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, because that's what life's about, right? It's for you. Life was made for you. Who was it made for? Your neighbor? Like, the other person? Your enemies were made for you. So go get it. In the meantime, eat your cake and do your curls. Oh, I got my biceps back. Okay, I know it's really cringe. Okay, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.